Yo, 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 what it do, what it do? Carolina here, man. Just got in myself. You know what I'm saying? Out here on these apps. Sit down and got some information. So I've been wondering, like with Uber Eats and stuff, you know what I'm saying? They ain't been like they used to be. They used to you know what I'm saying, they'll throw it out, say 15, and then they'll up it up, 27. You get those type of enjoyments throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? We're playing with Uber. But Uber, and I say even Lyft, you know what I'm saying? We're driving with them. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to balance these apps to survive out here with these apps. And so I've been trying to figure out, like, I share stories. I follow the news to understand what app I need to lean on more than the other. You know what I'm saying? But regardless of what, this is why things has been pretty, messed up on our end as rideshare. And why they're pulling out of Minneapolis. You know what I'm saying? I think they pulled out of Texas too, Houston somewhere, a while back. But regardless of what, you would think that they already have the money made. They've been running this game for years. But they went over, I think it's Australia somewhere, and went over there being a bully pretty much. Went over there and dropped in, put Uber in place, ran a lot of taxi drivers and, small mom and pop taxi companies, you know what I'm saying? Got rid of them. And so they just won a settlement, 200 and some mil. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy, but now we understand why we getting the rough end of the stick, because they had to pay out for being a bully. Hey, somebody hit Lyft up and tell them, and Uber, and tell them they need to tighten up, because we need our money. All right, let's check it out.
Will pay Australian taxi drivers $272 million in a world-first class action settlement. Morris Blackburn lawyers filed the class action in 2019 on behalf of more than 8,000 drivers who lost income and licence values when Uber moved into the Australian market. The settlement is the fifth largest in Australian history and one of the most successful class actions against the rideshare giant. The law firm says this is a massive win after a 5-year legal battle.
What today's settlement can do is to restore a level of justice and a level of compensation to our group members who have lost so much. What the settlement cannot do is to bring back the industries in the days of yesteryear. Ride-sharing reform and the legislative reform that occurred between 2017 to 2020 has occurred, and there's no going back. What we have sought to do with this case and today's settlement is to provide some form of redress for what we alleged were historical wrongs against group members.
Blair Davies is CEO of the Australia Taxi Association, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Blair. How are you feeling about this result?
We're very pleased. We believe that Uber did the wrong thing when they came to Australia. They could have entered the market complying with the rules. They chose not to. And this is going some way to holding them to account for that.
So the action has changed over the years, hasn't it? It began as a state-based action, then became national. Can you just take us through how the whole case has evolved?
That's right. So Morris Blackburn, originally we're talking to some licence holders of taxis and hire cars in Victoria. We heard about the legal action and encouraged them to expand their case to New South Wales, to Queensland, to WA, because the harm that was done by Uber to taxi licence holders in particular occurred in many states. And
you hear that, don't you? They had the idea, it worked, and so they went to work. They went everywhere with it, and it interrupted the norm. You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
this 270 million goes some way to redressing that. It certainly must be an indictment on Uber that they were misbehaving when they came to Australia.
How many licence holders have left the industry, Blair?
We've seen licence holders leave the industry because of deregulation in Victoria, New South Wales, Western Australia. There's still licence holders in places like South Australia and also Queensland, the ACT, Tasmania. But one of the troubles with this was that people owned licences, they had good businesses, and during that 2014-2016 period, those businesses came under very significant duress from a very large company operating outside the law, and people had to sell their licences and abandon their businesses simply because of the unfair tactics that were going on.
So $272 million, how's that compensation going to, what difference will that make to those who've been most affected by the arrival of Uber here?
I think it vindicates their position and their outrage that they expressed that Uber was operating outside the law. In terms of the financial losses that those licence holders experienced, it measures to the hundreds of thousands, and we expect that once this $272 million gets divided up amongst possibly 8,000 applicants, they'll get tens of thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. It vindicates their outrage. It vindicates their position that they were wronged. It vindicates their position that state governments should have done more to enforce their rules and make sure that Uber comply with the laws. And in some ways, the money will be helpful.
And how's business for the taxi industry now?
Well, moving on, it's 10 years on. The taxi industry is still alive. We're still seeing businesses growing, and we're still seeing customers preferring taxis. Where we get the cab to turn up on time, if the cab is clean and the driver is courteous, we're building a very loyal customer base on that basis. If, of course, we don't have the cab turning up like that, we lose business to the rideshare companies. And certainly there were people around 10 years ago thinking that the taxis were dead, that we wouldn't be in business in 10 years' time. We're doing well. We're competing head-to-head with Uber, Ola, Didi, very large international organisations, and we're very hopeful that there's a bright future for the industry.
Blair Davies, thank you so much.
So, what we just learned, sometimes being a bully can get you hurt. And they went to the wrong place with the wrong tactics and hurt the wrong people. Now they in their pockets and they over here hurting us. Hey, weigh in on this right here, man. Let me know what you think. Please like, share, subscribe. I'm Carolina. Till the next time, peace out.